The New Orleans Pelicans are a disappointment. What's up, guys? It's Hoops Hell back with another video. And before I get into why I think the New Orleans Pelicans are a disappointment, I want to make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe and comment down below if you agree with what I'm saying. Now, disclaimer, I'm no New Orleans Pelicans fan, but I am a fan of their young core, Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. And I was always a big fan of Brandon Ingram back at college, and Zion Williamson, I became a fan of his in the NBA. So it really is, kind of hard for me to see that team struggle because I love those two players a lot. Brandon Ingram, I saw potential in him immediately. And we all know how good Zion Williamson can be. So why do I think the New Orleans Pelicans are a disappointment? Well, currently they're sitting at the record of 17-24, which is as good as 12th in the Western Conference, which means they are not currently in the race for a play-in game. They are in the race for a play-in game, but they're not currently in the play-in spot, right? And if I look at the standings, there's no excuse for teams like the Thunder to be ahead of them with everything that the Thunder lost last year and coming into this year, right? The Pelicans being where they are is very disappointing to me. But should I even be surprised? Going back to all the moves that they made after last season ended, starting off with the Drew Holiday trade. Now, a lot of people thought they won this trade because of the picks and the pick swaps they got. I've always been a person that believed that picks are cool, but unless you hit on those picks, they don't really mean much. Right, you gotta hit on picks. Picks don't turn into superstars. Right, you gotta know who to draft, and you gotta know what to do with those picks. So picks and pick swaps are fine, but they're not a surefire, number one prospect that you're getting out of picks, especially when those picks are coming from the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks, in my mind, are gonna be in the playoffs for the next 5 years or until however long those picks last up till. So those picks are going to be bottom 15, most likely bottom 10 in the first round. So that even lessens your chance of getting a superstar or a star from the draft. You can still get contributing pieces in the bottom end of the draft, but you're less likely to get a guy who's going to blossom into a superstar or an all-star. Not saying it can't happen, but the chances are less, obviously, since the pick is lower. Then they got Eric Bledsoe. Now, Eric Bledsoe and George Hill. Now, Eric Bledsoe and George Hill are 2 point guards. Obviously, when I got them, when they traded for Eric Bledsoe and George Hill, I was aware that they were probably going to trade one of them away, and they did. They traded George Hill to the Thunder, but Eric Bledsoe was still on that team. Now, in my mind, I thought Eric Bledsoe was surefire going to come off the bench. I thought there's no way they're going to start this man with Lonzo Ball being there. I thought Eric Bledsoe was coming off the bench. I even got into an argument with my friend. I literally told him there's no way that Eric Bledsoe is going to be starting. He's going to be coming off the bench. And I look like a fool now because he's been starting games. And I've never been a fan of that this season, starting Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo Ball together. Never. Right. If you look at the Pelicans' advanced stats and look at their 3-point percentage, it's near the bottom of the league, and you can understand why. Before I even get into why the 3-point percentage is so low, let's look at the other move that they made in the offseason, apart from their draft pick. Steven Adams in free agency, and I think it might have been a trade. Oh yeah, they got Steven Adams. They extended him. Right? Immediately, as soon as they got Steven Adams, immediately extended the man without even seeing how it works. Another move that I wasn't a fan of. Why would you get Steven Adams first of all when you need a guy that can space the floor next to Zion? Steven Adams is cool, but he clogs up the paint. Zion is a guy that's limited outside the mid-range area. He's not a 3-point shooter. You need a guy that can space the floor, which is why I really thought they were going to draft Jalen Smith at 10. They took Kyra Lewis. Kyra Lewis is a guy that I really love, but I unfortunately think he's in the wrong situation. He's not getting the opportunity in New Orleans. He's recently started to get a little bit more playing time, but he was not going to get the playing time in my mind with Lonzo Ball and Eric Bledsoe being there, and they had Nickeil Alexander-Walker off the bench. So Kira Lewis wasn't really going to get a look in my opinion. Stan Van Gundy, another coach that they hired. I like Stan, but I think he's finished. I think he's very old school, which is why you can see the starting lineup being what it is, right? Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Steven Adams. You can see why this team is one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA. Lonzo Ball has been transformed into a catch-and-shoot player, and to all credit to Lonzo Ball for making his three-point shot more fluid. He's been shooting a career high in three-point percentage, Lonzo Ball, but that's not what his potential is. Lonzo Ball has never been a guy to be a catch-and-shoot player. He was never a catch-and-shoot player in Chino Hills. He was never a catch-and-shoot player at UCLA. He's never gonna his potential is never gonna be someone who's a catch-and-shoot player. He is not Duncan Robinson or Luke Kennard or Joe Harris. He is a guy that needs the ball in his hands and to make a play. But for some reason, this man, Stan Van Gundy, never has the ball in his hands down the stretch. It's always Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, which is fine. They're your two best players. But Lonzo Ball is your point guard. To turn him into a spot-up shooter, in my mind, is unacceptable. And, if I'm LeVar Ball, I'm trying to get my son out of there, and that's what he's doing. He's saying that I wish the Pelicans could trade my guy because they're not using him correctly. He's being misused in that system. So that's Lonzo Ball. I love Brandon Ingram. I love Zion Williamson. I think they're playing phenomenally well. Steven Adams is a guy that I don't know why they extended off the rip. He's really not fitting well with Zion and Brandon Ingram. He's not really a threat outside of 5 feet basically. JJ Redick coming off the bench is another move that I didn't like. JJ Redick is a shooter. They need shooting, right? Next to Zion and next to BI, next to Lonzo. And to be fair, Lonzo, like I said, is an improved three-point shooter, but they need a spot. They need a knockdown shooter, right? And JJ Redick is a knockdown shooter, but for some reason they're bringing the man off the bench, and he's not been shooting the ball well. Understandably, I love Josh Hart. I absolutely love Josh Hart's intangibles. I'm happy with what Josh Hart's doing. I'm happy with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But it's just the roster construction is very, very off, in my opinion. I think that's the biggest problem of this team. I don't think they have a fluent roster constructed from up top, from David Griffin, what he did, drafting Kira Lewis, extending Steven Adams, trading for Eric Bledsoe. I don't think any of those are good moves. I really don't. And hopefully, if they trade Lonzo Ball, for him to be in a better situation, hopefully he can be in a better situation. And hopefully they can get someone back that will fit their system. And hopefully they don't misuse him, whoever they get back for Lonzo Ball. Because Lonzo Ball is a much better player when he has the ball in his hands rather than when he's turned into a spot-up shooter. Let's be honest. Kira Lewis, hopefully they can slide him into the starting point guard position once Lonzo Ball gets out of there, which I think he should request a trade or something soon. He's a restricted free agent. He wants his money, bro. Lonzo Ball wants his bag. I would suggest that he gets out of that situation before they completely turn his, development around. Because I don't think he's the player that we're seeing right now. I think he's a much different player than what we're seeing right now. Other than that, their surrounding pieces are fine. Jackson Hayes is an okay backup center, but they also have Willie Hernangomez. They're going to have to make a decision between those two. Nico Melli's an okay power forward. And then they have guys coming, like late rotation guys like Sindarius Thornwell and Wenyen Gabriel, who are cool. But my main problem with the Pelicans is right now they are 27th in defense. 27th. Now when I read you that starting lineup of Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Steven Adams, you would probably think that they're better than 27th. But for some reason, this man Stan Van Gundy has not been able to figure it out. I like Stan, but if he doesn't make the playoffs, I think he has to go, because I don't think he's the right man for this team. I think this team needs a guy. I honestly think as bad of a coach that Mike Budenholzer is in the playoffs, he has always had success in turning teams from lottery teams to playoff teams, right? They need a coach like that. A Dwayne Casey that Detroit have is a good coach. He turned the Raptors from lottery into a playoff team. He just wasn't able to take that next step. Guys like that. Stan Van Gundy isn't a guy that's gonna, develop a team. Like he hasn't done that. I watched Stan Van Gundy. I'm a Miami Heat fan. Stan Van Gundy was the Miami Heat coach back in the day with Dwayne Wade and Shaq. He got fired and Pat Riley took over and won a championship. So Stan Van Gundy, I mean he's cool, but I really think they need a guy who's going to be able to be patient with the young guys, develop the young guys, cater to their needs. Don't turn them into what they're not. And just play fluent basketball, because I don't think the Pelicans are doing that right now. And it's a shame, because I think they have all the talent in the world, and hopefully they figure it out. Because I really like some of the pieces on this team. I just don't think these pieces necessarily fit that well together. So that's all I have to say about the Pelicans, man. Hopefully they make a move. I'm really disappointed in their season right now, being 12th in the Western Conference. I really expected them to be a lock for the playoffs. Even like a team like the Spurs, I really don't think they should have been better than the Pelicans. You got to give credit to Popovich, but I don't think the Pelicans are worse than the Spurs if you look at roster construction and all that stuff. I really do think it comes down to coaching and some of these players who don't fit well on the Pelicans roster. Let me know if y'all like this video, man. There are other teams that I really want to talk about, not just negativity, but like there are teams that I'm really impressed by that I'm thinking of making videos about. So hopefully, if you guys enjoyed this format, I'll be doing a lot of these videos sooner. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As usual, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys think about the Pelicans. If you guys are a Pelicans fan, let me know. I'm not going to lie and say I've been watching the Pelicans, tuned into the Pelicans 24/7. I've watched a good amount of games, but not every single game. So if I'm missing something, let me know down in the comment section below. I'll see y'all later, man. Peace.